So, I'm just seeing on Twitter that Piers Morgan is either fired or quit his job on, I don't know, Good Morning Britain or whatever the hell the name of that show is over there. He was criticizing Meghan Markle for being incredibly, ridiculously phony and everything else, just like I said, and her allegations of suicidal thoughts or whatever. And he stormed off the set, I guess, at some point. I don't know if that was this morning or yesterday. And then I don't know if they wanted to make an apology, or I don't know if they got complaints and they just canned him. But he's not on that show no more. This is getting out of hand because he's been like that. I mean, he's not suddenly done something wrong. He has a blustery attitude. That's how he's been. That's who they hired. And just because it's her, this is what I'm saying. Certain people can get away with anything. She could say whatever she wants about the royal family. He defends them. He says he didn't believe what she was saying, and now he's gone. I didn't believe what she was saying either. To me, she just looked like somebody who was attention seeking. You know, people can say things and be attention seeking, and sometimes it's not nice to ignore people and stuff like that. But when they're so blatantly selling something and it's so obvious, human beings still have to be able to have an opinion. They have to be able to look at something and say, you know what, that didn't come across as genuine. You know, I don't really believe what she said. You have to be able to say that. You have to be able to have an opinion that, gee, you know what? I don't know, that didn't sound right to me. You have to be able to say that. That's not calling anybody. This isn't a racial slur. This isn't anti-Semitism. This isn't anything like that. That's saying, you know what? I watched this interview. This girl said something. I don't believe it for 1 second. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't be a human being that's lived on this earth, seen people, you have information, you have knowledge, you have life experience, and you can't look at somebody who seems like a bald-faced liar and say that. This is what I mean. All this other shit, the pandemic, the lockdowns, all this other stuff, it's all in an effort to take away freedom, to get rid of people who will call bullshit on obvious bullshit. It's to get the mindless people who will follow along, go along with the narrative. It's just to make a world for them and get rid of any opposing voices. I don't understand this. I don't understand why it's okay. I'm sure there are a million people rejoicing because they don't like him. Again, he's a certain kind of person that people don't want around anymore. But I'll tell you what. He was defending the Queen. She was dragging that whole family while the Queen's husband is in the hospital. Could be dying, who knows? You know, she could be on the verge of death. She's dragging them all, going over this whole thing, and she can't be, you can't question anything she said. You can't say, you know what, I didn't believe what she said. It didn't seem genuine to me. She seemed like she was full of it. I didn't believe a word she was saying. Why can't you say that? Why do we not have to believe every word that comes out of certain people's mouths? From now on, what it looks like is if you're on the right side of the media, meaning the media has decided who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, as long as you promote and support and love the supposed good guys who are part of the narrative, you're all set. You say anything at all that doesn't back up their story, that doesn't back up their plans, whatever it is, and now that's too bad, you're done. This is somebody, like, he's had this job for how long? They're just going to get rid of him. That's it. We need a completely alternative media that's big enough so that people who still think for themselves can have it before they really take over, and it's really a totalitarian dictatorship and nobody can say anything ever. The woman was on TV making all kinds of accusations about people. Okay? She called people in the royal family racist. She was smart enough not to say a name. I don't know if that's libel. I don't know. But you know what? People are going to let her get away with murder, practically, by just saying whatever she wants about anybody, promoting herself. And you can't express your opinion about it. He's a man on a show with a voice. That doesn't mean the show signs off on everything he says. That doesn't mean the network signs off on everything he says. The idea that you can't use your own mouth to give your own opinion, which is clearly his opinion. That's what these chat type morning shows are. People say what they think. They're not sitting there just doing the news. You don't watch anything in this country. You don't watch, Kelly and Ryan to get, fact-based things in people, chat shows, they just talk. They talk, they give their opinions. It's one thing if it's a strictly news program. If it's something like that, where you have opinionated people who you hired, and then they give their opinion, and because it doesn't go along with whatever the current narrative is to push this week, they're gone. How's that okay with anybody? Like I said, I don't care if you like them. I don't care whose side you're on. It should bother you. It should bother you that people can no longer give their opinions. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.